TIFU by slapping an ass. This is truly the most horrifying thing I've ever experienced. I have been stabbed once before, and I have fonder memories of that day than this one. So I went shopping with my girlfriend earlier in the day. Just a little shop around Asda as it goes. We split up shortly after getting in so she could get her vegetables and couscous and I could get my energy drinks and mozzarella sticks. She then completely disappeared into thin air. I then spent ages, about 10 minutes, looking for her, going up and down the center aisle trying to spot her. After much stress and almost resorting to asking the staff to call her over the loudspeaker, I then spot her with her distinctive red hair and green patch jacket. Browsing the frozen section, it seems she has her back to me. But no matter. I seize the opportunity while I have time to strike. It was relatively quiet, so I proceeded to sneak up behind her, get a nice firm smack on the ass and say, "Aye. You almost done fuck nugget." I mean, there was a full-on echoey connection. That sound haunts me. Then this woman, who is most definitely not my girlfriend, turns around, looks at me in absolute shock and just says, "Can I help you?" Single quote. After much babbling, sweating and almost shitting my pants, I explain the situation to her and she proceeds to explain it to the manager, which I don't blame her for. After finding my girlfriend, I argued my case with the manager that they're both the same height, with very similar clothes on and the same hairstyle and color. He argued that they had different shoes on. I apologized profusely to the poor woman, and she seemed to take it very well, apart from the initial panic of a random stranger doing what I did. I have been struggling to sleep because I can't stop thinking about it, and how I want to tear my own face off. I have made many fuck-ups in my life, but holy shit, I think this one will top the list. I'm sorry, Asda lady. TL. Doctor, I slapped a random woman's ass in Asda because she looked nearly identical to my girlfriend from behind. I held someone's hand, same coat and hat on, and had a mask covering what should have been beard because we were in the shop. I skipped up behind him and slipped my hand into his and hugged him. A very confused man looked down at me and went, hello?" Quote. The shame. The apologetic babbling. Oh God, it's all coming back. God, I almost did this. Saw a large bearded man with tattoos on the same arm as my husband. Proceeded to run down the aisle to slap his ass. Saw it wasn't my husband. Got awkward and just sprinted past this dude. Happened to me once, but I was on the receiving end of a full-on, double-handed bum squeeze. Some girl thought I was her boyfriend in the mall. By random coincidence out I was her lab instructor. The next class was a little awkward. Ah yes, shoes. When I want to identify a person, I always look at their shoes to see if they're my GF or not. IDKY, but the whole, their shoes are different, part of the story just makes me laugh harder. Hope this becomes something you can laugh about soon. Oof. I feel your pain. Did the exact same thing in an Old Navy years ago. I fell to my knees in panic and apology. The woman who received the slap was very cool about it, and my girlfriend had a totally identical top to her and showed up quick, which made my embarrassment mercifully brief. I really got in there. Okay, now we need TIFU by getting myself stabbed. I too fucked up lol. Locked my shop up to pop to another. When I returned, I saw a regular customer, a policeman, waiting, peering into the window. We had a lot of banter with this guy usually, so I creep up behind, bellow LO, and shoved him against the window. It wasn't him, LMAO, see no evil. This legit happened to me at my dad's funeral. My uncle arrived and for some reason, I thought that he was my husband, so I playfully smacked his butt from the back. Relieved that he'd arrived, and to my utter horror, my uncle turned and gave me a bewildered face. I found myself sputtering something about having the same pants as my husband. This was my dad's brother. At my dad's funeral. It was a decade ago and I'm still shocked myself. You had the chance to say, "That's Asda price." My aunt once slapped my ass. In the middle of the kitchen. On Thanksgiving. In front of a lot of family. While I was 15. Congratulations. You now have a trauma that will force you to look compulsively at women's feet for the rest of your life. A guy smacked my ass by mistake once. In a pub in Cartmel. When I turned round, he looked so frightened and embarrassed it was clear it was unintentional. So I just said, "Harder than that and not in public." There are two kinds of guys in this world. 1. Ass-slapping fuck-nugget whisperers. 2. Guys who pay attention to women's shoes. I feel you. I once did something similar and 6 years on the embarrassment level is still painful. Ground open up and swallow me painful. I once worked in a supermarket. One my mom shopped at. It's also worth pointing out. At the time my mom had a very distinctive van. One of a kind. And I had seen this driving into the car park, so I knew she was here. So I was walking around when I saw Mom. Or so I thought. Right height. A whole 6 inches shorter than me, I might add. This is relevant to the level of embarrassment later. Right size. Wearing jeans with mud on. Remember the distinctive van? She's a dog walker. Mud is normal at this time of day. Wearing her purple coat, which has got her for dog walking. With her very unique, multicolored, large, hippie-style bag. Even her hair was the same. So I do what any self-respecting 24-year-old, who hasn't seen their mum for a little bit too long, would do. I run and jump on her back. Wrap my arms around her. And scream, "Mummy," in her ear whilst giving her a bear hug. It wasn't my mum. It wasn't my mum. Oh no. Help. What do I do? I've just reverse rugby tackled an innocent woman who's tiny. Luckily my real mum was watching. And luckily the not mum found it just as hilarious. She said something along the lines of, "I'm glad you're that excited to see your mum. She's a very lucky lady." My face was redder than my shirt. And it was a very red shirt. The cringe has overcome me. I'm going to sit and dwell on this now. Goodbye. Edited spelling mistakes. The cringe is affecting my capabilities. Did this to once too, but years ago. Wanna say 10 plus. Shit happens a lot. At least you didn't slap then. Goose them. Anyways, the woman was like, "Oh honey, you're way too young for me, but thank you." Fun fact: wife has done this to some dude before too, trying to get back at me, always doing it. Anyways, lady was polite and understood it was big ass mistake. Wife came around corner not even 10 seconds later laughing her ass off and told lady I was a asshole anyways. Their shoes are different. Given the current situation, sir, I'm fairly confident you can see I wasn't looking at her shoes. My mother did a similar thing. Whilst shopping for groceries. Every time she entered an aisle, she'd the back view of a man she recognized as my uncle. Her bill. Just leaving the other end of the same aisle going into the next. She yelled his name half a dozen times. But he never responded. Finally she saw him toward the back of the store and she managed to catch up to him. Walking up behind, she slapped him on the backside and said rather loudly, "Oi you rude FC King CNT. I've been calling you. Quote. We're Australian. So calling someone a CNT is often a term of endearment. The man span around in astonishment. It was not my uncle. Mum just made a "oh" face and walked away as fast as she could with no explanation. Somewhere there is a man who tells that story. Just without the bit about mistaken identity. Energy drinks and mozzarella sticks, resorting to asking the staff to call her over the loudspeaker. Is this woman your mom? This is why you keep sneaky ass slaps in the home. Limits potential target misidentification.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.